that lets you save.
Look here.
True Form Life.
Green look on it.
A lot of people are going to the wrong aisles. They're going to grab whatever they think is on sale. They're going to grab things that they shouldn't be consuming.
Welcome to Exploring Mind and Body with Drew Tadia. Drew is an expert in nutrition, fitness, lifestyle, and more. And he wants to help you live a healthier, longer, and more active life. Now here's your host, Drew Tadia.
Welcome to another edition of nationally syndicated Exploring Mind and Body. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for tuning in and being a part of our True Form Life community. We're coming at you with a brand new show. We appreciate whether you're listening on terrestrial radio across the country or as a podcast around the world. We certainly wouldn't be here without you. So stick around. We got all that coming up.
This is Exploring Mind and Body. Naturally improve your lifestyle one show at a time with your host, Drew Tadia.
Let me give you some grocery tips. That's probably why you're here. So I got them written down on my wall here. That's why I'm going to be looking up here. I got this really cool big whiteboard that's almost like the size of the wall. Or actually, our neighbor Lisa, she was just getting rid of it. She was like on her lawn, she's throwing it away, and I was like, "Hey, are you doing something with that?" And she's like, "No, you can have it." So it's like almost my full wall. I love it. I can write so much on it. I got another small one here. It helps me stay organized. So for the grocery shopping list, or to help improve your grocery experience in particular, I have some simple steps for you to help, or hopefully help you. Let me know what you think. So the first one is, you guys hear me talk about this all the time. You must have a meal plan. That's number one. So make yourself a meal plan. It's not that difficult. It takes more time. So in this case, like in most cases, you value your time or your money, right? So it takes you more time to create a meal plan. So if you're not going to pay someone to do it, you value your money more than your time. At some point, you'll probably get to a point in life where you value your time more than money, so you're willing to pay for those types of services. And I'm not here to judge. I'm just telling you that it's either one or the other. There's nowhere in between. So if you're going to spend the time, which I suggest writing out your meal plan, that's what you should do to prepare yourself to go to the grocery store. From your meal plan, you reverse engineer a grocery shopping list. So you decide exactly what you're going to eat that week. And so you create your meal plan. So you could sit down with your spouse, your kids, it could be by yourself. You sit down and you decide, what do you want? This is what we do. This is how Dorothy designs meal plans for our clients. This is what we do as a family. What do you want for dinner? So we start making dinners. Those are usually lunches. What do you want for breakfast this week? And we repeat a lot of our meals to make it simple. So start with a meal plan. If you're not going to do it, I'd highly recommend paying someone to do it. It'll make your life so much easier. Like, think about, you hate going to the grocery store because you're probably not using a lot of these tips that I'm going to share with you. You hate going to the grocery store because you're spending more money than you should. You feel like you're wasting money because that food is going to sit in the fridge and go bad. There's a lot of reasons why people hate going to the grocery store. They don't know where to find stuff, for example. So if you start with a meal plan, or get someone or pay someone to do a meal plan for you, whatever it is, whatever you want to do, that's going to make your grocery shopping, it's the very foundation of making your grocery experience that much easier. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, from that meal plan, you reverse engineer it. You look through all the meals that you want and you start making a grocery list. I should do a video. Like, Dorothy's a magician. She's been doing this for years, mind you. And she can make a meal plan very efficiently, and still takes time and effort. For her, she balances macros for everyone based on their weight preferences. It's a lot of work for each person, but she's been doing it for years. That's why you hire an expert that can do it for you. But let's push that aside for a moment. You make a grocery list from your meal plan. And now you have your grocery list, and you go to the grocery store with your list. Now, here's the thing is that you don't deviate from that list. You buy only the foods that are on the list. This is going to save you money because a lot of people are going to the wrong aisles. They're going to grab whatever they think is on sale. They're going to grab things that they shouldn't be consuming. If you build your list out, and if you really want, put like a can of Coke if you need to. Put that on your list, or put a bag of chips. Whatever it is, of course, rationally consider your goals and what you want to work towards and put that on your list, okay? If it's reasonable. But at the very least, if you put a minimal amount of junk food on your list, at least stick to that. And don't overindulge in all the sales and all the low quality, highly processed, sugary aisles that you know you shouldn't be going down anyway, right? So give yourself some grace if you need to. If there's no way to get around it, if you're going to do it regardless, then at least put it on your list and understand that that's all you're going to buy. Okay. For us, the next one is a flyer. I feel like this sounds kind of funny or old school. Like for us, the only thing that we get so much junk in the mail, right? The only thing we really look at is of grocery store flyers. And we see like what's on sale that week, what's on special, or where you can get more points. So we collect points and actually save money at the end of the month. There's like a bunch of different things. This isn't about money saving tips, but I would suggest collecting points. Or like you can collect points at, I think they should all do, like, at least locally here in town, like Sobeys does, like, I think they changed it to like a Saint card. And then what's the other one? You can get points at No Frills. I don't know, I forget the bigger name. Superstore. I think Superstore is connected to No Frills. You can get points through there. Co-op gives you some type of dividends at the end of the year, I think. So you should be wherever you're going, you should be collecting points. Even Costco, if you have a certain membership in Costco, you get a kickback at the end of the year. You should be doing that. It's not significant in most cases, but it's worth using or worth doing. So we look at the different flyers and we look at what's on sale, and then we go and get the sale items. Like, why wouldn't you? Of course, it takes a bit more time, but it just makes sense if you're looking to save money on your groceries. And a lot of people are complaining about their groceries, and rightly so. Our grocery bill has doubled, which is absurd, but that's just how it goes. We can't really do much about it except take some of these steps that I'm mentioning. Now, okay, you have your flyer. And for me, like, it's important. This might sound funny, but for me, it's important to go to a grocery store that I enjoy or resonate with. And I'd imagine if you really hate the grocery store, do you guys dislike going to the grocery store? Do you enjoy it? Is it a nice place to kind of cruise around and get some walking in? Or do you just want to get in and get out? For me, it's like I have my list and I want to get in and get out. I know where to go. I know where to go in the grocery store, which grocery store to go to. Dorothy, she really likes cruising around and taking her time and looking at different items and such. So there's no right or wrong. I'm just curious about where you're at in your grocery shopping journey. Okay, so I would suggest finding a grocery store that you like or resonate with. And it sounds odd, but sometimes I go into a grocery store and it seems like it's like very hollow, and there's no energy or not positive energy. It's like lifeless. It's like a big warehouse, right? So, and maybe that's your only experience. That's all you know from grocery stores. So I would suggest go and look at different grocery stores. You know, when you go to a farmer's market, at least my experience, it's usually warm and welcoming. Like, people are like, hey, how you doing? Would you like a free sample? The farmer's market I'm picturing is outside. Is outside, and it's warm at the beach, and people are happy. Like, people are usually happier when it's warm outside, right? So at any rate, so you should find a grocery store where it's a bit warmer and welcoming. That's my opinion. Sometimes you go to a grocery store and they're like, it's so bizarre to me, but it's like the employees don't want you there. They're like, if you ask them a question, it's like you are taking out of their day to help you out. And I'm like, I think if you didn't have customers, you wouldn't have a job. So you should be more helpful and grateful for people asking you questions. Otherwise, there'd be no one here. That's what I think. Maybe not the best mindset. Maybe not the most positive mindset, but I really appreciate customer service. That's why we try to offer the best customer service possible. So if we look at going to a grocery store and you're asking, like if you ask around for different items, I have found the best grocery stores, that employee will actually take you there. They're not like, the left side on aisle 9. They say, oh, let me take you there. And they actually walk you there. And of course, that takes more time out of their day and it takes them away from whatever the task that they're doing. But I so much appreciate that. So I will go out of my way, even if it's a store that costs a bit more. So you know those stores, those discount stores, that the stores that cost a bit more, like we at least should know, like you should know if you're going to a certain grocery store. Like there's a bunch of them. There's like, we have Save On Foods, and then you have Safeway, Co-op, No Frills, Superstore. Like there's Superstore's like a giant warehouse, right? I don't find it that warm and friendly. Usually like a Co-op is more family oriented. I find Co-op's a bit more warm and friendly, but everyone's different because you could have one employee that ruins your whole experience, or you could what do you call them, a cashier? Like you could have one cashier that's just having a grumpy day and they turn you off from going there. So it's a bit challenging, but at least for me, that's one of my tips, is that you should find a store that the employees are happy, friendly, they want to help. It just offers a more of a warming atmosphere, and at least for me, I appreciate that. When you find a store that you like, you spend a bit more time there at first, because you need to find out where the stuff is, right? You need to find out where your favorite yogurt is, or where the frozen food aisle is, or where to go grab your eggs. Hopefully you're grabbing eggs from local farmers if you can. Whatever it is that you're doing, like you go to the places where they are. And that's why I suggest, that's why for me, it's important to find a grocery store that you really like and then go to that one, like support them on a regular basis because they are offering good, quality service. Don't get me wrong. I'm a fan of shopping around and finding deals and specials. So this is a money saving tip for you. Like most grocery stores should have, like a 10% Tuesday. Like a lot of the ones around here, the first Tuesday of every month, they have 10% off your entire grocery list on one day of the month. Like, why wouldn't you go that day? It just makes sense to go save. And I know, like, oh, I got to look at my calendar. I got to plan my schedule. Like, sure, it takes more time and it takes more effort, but you're saving money. Like, do you want to save money or not? And I would bet that most people that complain about their grocery bill aren't doing that. Like, they're not going to look in the flyer to see what's discounted. They're not going on the discounted day. And for me, another tip for you is that I love the discount rack. I know it sounds crazy. And to be honest with you, when I first started going there, I was like, kind of like embarrassed. Like I thought people would be like, oh, he can't afford groceries or whatever, but it's just food. And the food is going to be thrown away. And it's a bit like it's ripe or overripe. And I've been to some grocery stores where they put like all kinds of junk on there. Like stuff's already gone bad or it's already molded. And I'm like, who's going to buy that? So those types of places obviously aren't the best choice, but in many cases you can go and find like a discount. You can find like a discount aisle or a discount rack. Sorry, not a discount aisle, like a discounted shelf. And I go and buy all my bananas there, to be honest with you. I find one grocery store that has a discount rack. Bananas go bad pretty quickly. I will buy stacks of them and freeze them. I'll peel them, freeze them, and I have smoothies for bananas for my smoothies for a month. So that's another way for you to save money. And then finding a grocery store that has that. Not all of them do, but I've found that most do. So I like to frequent grocery stores that have them because I can go by, check out, I can walk by, check out what's discounted and grab it. It could be oranges, it could be bananas. Sometimes it's vegetables. So that's a tip that I would suggest. So that's another tip, is that you should definitely find a store that you like to go to that has a discount rack. There's nothing wrong with that. It's okay to save money. I feel like we feel like we need to spend more, or we need to buy fresh or brand new. Like, I would rather go to the thrift store to get clothes, to be honest with you. Like, if I don't like to buy my own clothes. I'm fortunate enough where I don't really do that. But I would rather go to the thrift store to get my clothes. And it's the same thing with the discount aisle. If I can save some money on some bananas, I'm all for it. Let's see, what else did I have on the list for you? I feel like it's a mindset. Like, it's a mindset that you really dislike going to the grocery store. It's a mindset that that's a waste of time, that it takes too much time, that I'd rather do something else. You don't want to go. And I feel like it's like, for me, I like to avoid things where I waste money or spend too much money. That's just how I am. Maybe you could call me frugal if you like, but we work hard for our money, and I like to use it on things that I really enjoy. So if you feel like you're wasting money because you're buying food that's going to go bad in the fridge, that's why we need a meal plan. The meal plan is also going to save you money. And that's why we need a grocery list to stick to. So all of these tips kind of connect. And it's a whole picture, right? Like, one of these tips isn't going to change your life. But if you do everything, it will change your life without question. It'll change your bank account. It'll change your mindset. It'll change your mindset when you're going to the grocery store. And they have this thing in the US now. Let me know if anyone has seen that around here. I think it's called Instacart. I haven't experimented with it yet, but I had a friend telling me about it. And I think you can, it's crazy. I don't know if this is real or true. Like I said, let me know if you've experienced this, but I think there's like a company, and they'll send someone out to different stores. It doesn't have to be one location. They'll in different stores, and they'll buy your groceries, or I think they'll even buy other stuff. And if it's over $50, it's free shipping. So you don't even have to leave your house anymore. I don't like that. I want to go to the grocery store. I want to pick my own food, but I don't have any judgment for anyone that's like, oh, I want to order on an app, or I want to sit in my car and have someone drop it off. Whatever you want to do. And that could be another suggestion for those of you that want to do that. Like, if you want to order at home when you have a few minutes on your app, and then someone pops it in your grocery or in your car, whatever. I don't have any judgment with that. Do the best that you can, and do the best that fits into your lifestyle. For me, I'd rather pick out my food, and I would rather choose where it's coming from. And I guess there's another number of different reasons, but for me, I lost my tip. I don't know Uber Eats. So I think I don't even know. Do we have Uber in Canada? We Uber when we're in LA or in the US, but then they have a thing called Uber Eats. And I think Uber will go to a restaurant and pick up your food and drop it off. I've never used it. I don't think Uber will go and get you groceries. They won't. I'm quite certain they won't. This is a different app. It's called Instacart. I haven't tried that one either, but I'm thinking about just trying it so I can tell you more about it, or I can be more educated around it. We have these big bowls of candy, right? And here's the thing is that these bowls of candy, like, a lot of times we don't realize that we're snacking on these candies all day. We're just like grabbing one here and there. And it probably turns into more than a chocolate bar, because we're snacking on all these Halloween candies. And a lot of times people are like, oh, I can't lose weight. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I feel like I'm eating right. And you know what most people tell me is that my nutrition is fine. And then I look at their meal plan and I'm like, who told you that this was fine? A lot of people, actually, if I look at meal plans, a lot of people eat the calories or foods that I would suggest to gain weight. And I know that sounds crazy, but because we haven't seen another way, right? Like even Dorothy, I have this conversation with Dorothy, and like she's always been fit and active, and healthy. But then we started to track her macros and count her calories, and we realized that she was eating a lot of calories. Even though they were clean, she was still eating 2,500 calories, which is a lot. I eat 3,000, and I'm a larger man. Like I'm over 200 pounds, right? And I go through different phases, and I'm actually going to try a phase to drop 10 pounds. I've gained over 20 pounds on purpose. And now I want to try the opposite for males in our MAP program to drop 10 pounds. So I'll be about 195 and see what that looks like. But you have to change your macros. You have to change your calorie count. And then Deanne's doing absolutely amazing. I hope I can mention this. I don't know if she's here, but she dropped 20 pounds in her MAP program. And she said she didn't realize she was eating, even though she's been active. She eats relatively healthy. She was eating as much as her husband. Same thing as Dorothy. She lost 20 pounds by just looking at her macros, and for us to balance her macros and give her a better calorie range. So for you guys, like, it's like these little candy bars or the things that you're snacking on throughout the day, like, it's jacking up your calorie count, which isn't going to help you see your results. So I said, okay, if you're going to eat these candy bars, like, I had 3 suggestions. If you're going to eat the candy, or if you have the candy bars in the house, number 1 is at least put them out of sight. Put them in the deep freeze, put them under a bed, in a closet, whatever you want to do with them. Put them out of sight. So many people have them on the counter. Who's not going to eat them? We're addicted to sugar, our whole society. We love sugar. If it's in our sight, we're going to eat it. So I said, put it where you can't see it. Option 2, my favorite one, is get them out of the house. That's the best way. Then you remove all temptation. And then the third one was, every time you eat a little candy bar, you have to add an extra workout. And you should, in my opinion, you should be working out 3 times a week anyways. So if you're going to have 3 bars in a day, you got to add 3 workouts to your day. So that's 6 workouts in a week. How many people are going to do that? Very few. So remove the candy. So you should probably pick option number 1 or number 2, or just remove the candy from the house. So at any rate, what's a macro? So I won't get into it too much here. I'm actually going to wrap up here in about 5 minutes with my last couple tips. Macro, we have 4 macros, just to give you, and you can check out our YouTube or Exploring Mind and Body. We explain all the 4 macros. We gave you a meal plan with the 4 macros. So you have your healthy fats, complex carbs, proteins, and antioxidants or vegetables. So we balance those for our clients and keep them in a calorie count. So I don't suggest anyone count calories. It's misery. Like, if anyone's tried to count calories before, you don't do it for very long, or it's short term because no one wants to do it. If you have an expert like Dorothy that knows how to do it, she's been doing it for years, it still takes her time and effort, and she's really good at it. So you have someone else that's a beginner and they're like, I'm going to try to count calories. It's probably a really bad idea. At any rate, so let me finish off with my last couple tips here. I would suggest going to the grocery store once a week max. And here's the thing, is that if you buy, like, you plan your food a week in advance, right? So you know exactly what you're buying. And then you shouldn't be going to the grocery store, because every time you go to the grocery store, you're going to be tempted to buy other things that you shouldn't be having anyways, right? So avoid temptation by going less. That's number 1. Number 2 is that you should have your meals planned ahead anyways. So think about how much time it takes you to drive to and from the grocery store, or how much mental energy it takes for all the kids to be like, what are we having tonight? And you're like, oh, I don't have anything. Got to drive to the grocery store. So if you go once a week and plan your week out in advance, you're saving a ton of time from not bouncing back and forth going 3 times a week. And I know some people are like, oh, it's not, like, we live in small towns around here. It's not that far. You drive by it anyways, right? You're still taking time to drive there, get out of your car, walk there, stand in line to get your groceries. Like, that's why a lot of people don't like the grocery shop to begin with, because it takes so much time. But we're making it harder on ourselves to enjoy the grocery store experience by going as many times as possible, right? So plan your week in advance. That starts with the meal plan, starts with the grocery shopping list. Have one single time in the week that you go. One of those times should be the 10% off in that month. And then if you want to go somewhere else, like if you want to go to Costco, if you're closer to some other bulk store where you can buy more stuff, so you're not buying that every week, that's even better. So give that a shot. I really want you to consider. So the last one here is consider taking the kids to the grocery store. If you have like an aversion is that the right word? An aversion to the grocery store. If you have like all this negative energy towards the grocery store and you really don't want to go, or you're always like rushing in and rushing out and grabbing a few items here and there, your kids are not going to enjoy it either. And they're going to have a negative experience every time they think about a grocery store. So for you, like, I would encourage you to bring your kids to the grocery store, show them it's not that scary. And that starts with you, right? Show them that, and it doesn't matter what age they are. I feel like we need to start them out as early as possible. But if they're a bit older, if they're young adults and they haven't been taught, take them, go together, offer an experience for them, and help them understand that this is something that doesn't have to be scary, doesn't have to be a waste of money. This is food. Like, we need food to survive. And that's all there is to it. So I would suggest you take your kids and you go to the grocery store and you give them items to go and grab, or let them choose. Like, this is what we do. Our little guy's 1.5 years. And he's like, do you want grapes or bananas? He chooses. Do you want sweet potatoes or yams? He chooses, right? We give him the opportunity to make choices. And that's another one, because as adults, we're not conditioned to make choices. We don't want to make choices. We don't know how to make choices. And the earlier we start off, like, ask someone to go, like, what do you want? What restaurant do you go to? I don't know. What do you want to have for dinner? I don't know. That is a lack of the ability to make choices. And I know there's a thing called, like, we go through it at the end of the week. Usually it's decision depleted. Like, you've made so many decisions throughout the week. You don't want to make one more decision, but you still have to exercise your decision muscle to be able to make decisions. So I would suggest, as early as possible, you get your kids to start making decisions so they can grow up being a strong decision maker. And for me, that starts in the grocery store. And it's like, what do you want? Like, what do you want to eat tonight? What do you want to eat for a snack? And like I said, 1.5-year-old can make those decisions. So can a 3-year-old, 5-year-old, 8-year-old, 15-year-old. And for me, like, as those kids get older, I'm telling you, I went to college and then university with kids that had no idea how to buy groceries. And I'm like, so we'd go to the grocery store together and they have no idea how to buy groceries. And I'm like, how did you eat up to this point? Like, oh, mom bought those for me. And then I'm like, well, what did your mom think when she sent you to school away, like in a different state, province, or country? What did she think you were going to do? Right? That's my mindset. It's like, what happened? Like, where was the disconnect that you thought your child was, had the ability to make lunches, do their laundry, buy groceries when you did all that for them? So let your kids make decisions, give them responsibilities as early as possible, get them involved. I love like a pizza night. What kind of pizza do you want? What toppings do you want? Let them, our little guy's already like slopping around, helping Dorothy in the kitchen with muffins and cracking eggs. Like, it's a cool experience, at least for me. So I'm going to leave you with that. I hope that was helpful. And yes, those are my tips. If you guys have any questions, shoot us a message. Have a wonderful day. Have a fantastic weekend. And we'll catch up with you soon. Take care.
True Form Life.
All right, that's going to wrap things up for this edition of Exploring Mind and Body. Once again, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for tuning in and being a part of our True Form Life community. You can always find us on Facebook.com/TrueFormLife. We post up there a couple times a day on our story. We're always trying to bring you more content around living a healthy lifestyle, whether that be nutrition, fitness, lifestyle, and more. We also have free challenges that we do at least once a month. So if you follow us along there, you'll be able to join maybe a plank challenge or a squat challenge, Tabata challenge, whatever it may be. We'd love to have you join us. We're also on Instagram.com/DrewTadia. Again, we're posting up there a couple times a day along with our story, all dedicated to keeping you fit and healthy and on track. Our main website is TrueFormLife.com. If you want to check out some of our products, some of our services, or if you just want some great content from videos to blog posts and recipes and more, we got all that at TrueFormLife.com. Once again, thank you so much for being here. That's it. That's all I got. I'm out of here. As always, I'm your host, Drew Tadia, in health and fitness for a better world. Thanks for listening.
You've been listening to Exploring Mind and Body with Trueform Life's Drew Tadia, fitness expert. To find out more about the show, Drew Tadia, or to listen to past shows, visit exploringmindandbody.com.